French fighter jets operating under a NATO mission just shot down a drone over Latvian airspace. The cause: Russian electronic warfare. This interception confirms that the conflict is no longer staying within its primary borders. The war in Ukraine is now generating recurring physical threats to the sovereign airspace of NATO's eastern flank. This map shows the specific location of the engagement. At 07 GMT, the drone was destroyed over an uninhabited area near the village of Brzgali, 30 kilometers from the Russian border. The response was handled by French aircraft based in northern Lithuania. These jets are part of the NATO Baltic Air Policing Mission, which has monitored these borders since 2004. The military points to Russian electronic warfare as the catalyst. Moscow uses intensive jamming to deflect incoming Ukrainian attacks, which unintentionally forces hardware onto unpredictable cross-border trajectories. This reliance on signal interference has effectively weaponized the surrounding airspace, turning diverted drones into a persistent risk for countries far beyond the front lines. Latvia is only one part of a broader geographic pattern. The proximity of fighting means erratic hardware is consistently drifting into neighboring territories. Just this week, fragments of a Ukrainian drone were discovered in a field in Moldova. In the Black Sea, a maritime drone recently exploded in Romania's Constanta port. It was another Ukrainian asset knocked off its path by Russian electronic interference. Not all incursions are accidents. In late May, a Russian drone struck an apartment building in eastern Romania, injuring 2 people and triggering a demand for improved anti-drone defenses. Between intentional strikes and electronic deflections, the volume of hardware crossing these borders has created a measurable increase in regional risk. These border threats are now generating direct political friction for the governments in the region. In Latvia, the mounting pressure over border security led to the resignation of Prime Minister Evika Silina last month. This political strain is forcing a defensive pivot. Romania is now formally requesting that NATO accelerate the transfer of specialized anti-drone capabilities to protect its border. EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has labeled the situation a direct threat to eastern border states, stating that European solidarity with these nations must be absolute. Even in cases with no physical casualties, the consequences are tangible. Public panic and forced military upgrades are the real-world results of this spillover. This reinforced border reflects a new operational reality. Containment of the war has failed to keep military hardware within the primary conflict zone. The compounding effects of electronic jamming mean NATO can no longer treat these stray drones as isolated anomalies. Securing the eastern flank now requires treating every errant drone as a persistent threat, necessitating round-the-clock air policing and a rapid increase in localized anti-drone infrastructure.